Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, very, very good evening.
Maybe start, sir.
Okay.
Right. Good evening, everyone. As Charles de Gaulle said, politics is too serious a matter to be left to the politicians. So today, to guide us to and through politics, we have with us our most jovial faculty, Professor Raghu Gowda, sir. He has 15 plus years of experience in the UPSC stratum, and his personal experience of appearing in UPSC Mains 7 times, interview 3 times, and he has also scored apex score for the 2015 CSE Mains in GS-4 Ethics. Sir has learned under the tutelage of M. Laxmikanth Sir, an author and stalwart of UPSC Extended Universe. So let us begin this session with the exemplary words of the 35th President of the United States. Oh, am I audible?
Yes, very much audible.
Sorry, I just had a minor internet issue. So let us begin this session with the exemplary words of the 35th President of the United States of America, John F. Kennedy. Let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer, but the right answer. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past. Let us accept our own responsibility for the future. With this, I humbly welcome Raghu sir to guide this GS2 paper discussion session further. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Tanmay. And after a long time, you made a, like, what is that you say, opening note or thought for the day. All these days, somehow you are playing very safe, just answering the class and not taking the responsibilities. And in fact, it was a pleasant surprise that you opened the class. It's great. And it's nice to see some senior citizens also. Don't take the other way. Means you are no more a fresher. मीन्स मुझे वो पता नहीं है, ये पता नहीं है, वो कैसा करना है, वो स्टेज आपका हो गया है. So एक like one thing came to my mind just now. I never thought that I have failed in any examination. So like pulling my brother's leg, I was telling that he used to fail in engineering. Engineering में, like you may be knowing, in engineering some or the other way people will fail. So he made a point. Hey brother, you are telling that you are not failed, but in UPSC you have failed. Where did you get? You have not got service. So that made me realize that I am also a failure person. And in UPSC, there is one important thing. There is nothing like 90, 95%, 5%, 10%. It's either 100 or 0. So be careful. So 10 साल UPSC प्रिपरेशन किया, आपको 10 डिग्री नहीं मिलते, कुछ नहीं मिलता. And the chances are high. If I take probability, in this class, nearly like 20 to 30% of the students will be teachers in future because law of probability. Seats are very limited. So even if you give service to all their students, seats are not sufficient. Okay, having said this, okay. So I gave you one assignment, and for many days I have been shouting. So UPSC mains आ रहा है, आपको क्या करना है वो ये. So in this regard, how many of you have tried to answer the mains questions? All the questions, try to answer. So if it would have been like a school, I would have asked, show me your books. I cannot show. I just trust you. Okay. Not all, but some. Okay. Nice. Good. So dear students, this is very high time. If you have not done, please do it. Okay. Like once again, those of you who have tried, who have done, Have you tried to find the answer by referring to some other source, any other source? First, writing on my own. Very good. That is the basic thing. Analysis on YouTube, something like that. Have you seen? Google, great. Google is great. And in fact, how many of you are using ChatGPT? Like, okay. Dear students, it's a wonderful tool. Please do use it. But you have to be cautious, right? Those of you who are not using, please wake up. This is a wake up call. That app I have also used of late recently, but it is good. If not accurate, like if at all, if you want to get the meaning, say for example, compare and contrast parliamentary sovereignty in India and Britain. So you are not getting the meaning of compare and contrast. Just type there. So my humble request, if you are not using ChatGPT, you will be losing one of the greatest inventions of this time. Please do use that, but no, उसमें ही आपको डूबा नहीं रहना है. Whenever you get some doubt or anything, like a thing has flashed in my mind. Like whenever you feel like seeing some Instagram or anything like that, you can go to ChatGPT. So आपको ये सिविल सर्विस प्रिपरेशन में एक दोस्त मिलना बहुत डिफिकल्ट है. You can use ChatGPT as your friend. Like you can ask ChatGPT, like I am feeling like this, what should I do? Some answers will come, right? It is a great one. Like, and also one important thing about that is it keeps all the memory. आपने जो किया पिछले like 1 year, 2 year, and also you yourself to begin. Those who have not started, you give like who are you? I am preparing for civil service examination 2024. You begin with this. So it will feed all the things. Anything related to UPSC 2023, it will see that it is there for you. Is my point clear to you? Please use this. There is nothing let the knowledge come from any area. That should be the thing. If you are not using, you are missing one of the biggest tool. Okay. And those of you who have seen YouTube analysis, all these things, what was your goal? Were you satisfied with the analysis provided by the teachers? Those who said that like we did go through. Okay. So dear students, one point like why did I ask is, it's not that easy. In fact, whether you have seen or not, I have gone through all the things which are available on YouTube. But I was not satisfied. And in fact, it is not their mistake. And also here, the things are not that easy as you have thought, right? So having said that, let us begin the class. Okay. So here, just a general introduction. First 10 questions generally will be of 10 marker and you have to write 150 words. Next 10 will be 15 markers and you should be writing 250 words. So this is generally followed. So you should be having the idea like how many words you will be writing. So you'll be writing 4,000 words. This is one thing which you have to keep in mind. So those of you who are very young, please try this. Just take like 5 minutes or 10 minutes time and try to write like whatever comes to your mind just to test your speed. After that, you rectify some of the words which are not legible, right? Okay, so here there are 20 questions. So who will read the 20 questions? Okay, Tanmay, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you, sir. I'll start. Question number 1. Constitutionally guaranteed judicial independence is a prerequisite of democracy. Comment. Question number 2. Who are entitled to receive free legal aid? Assess the role of National Legal Services Authority in rendering free legal aid in India. 3. The states in India seem reluctant to empower urban local bodies both functionally as well as financially. Comment. 4th, compare and contrast the British and Indian approaches to parliamentary sovereignty. 5th, discuss the role of presiding officers of state legislatures in maintaining order and impartiality in conducting legislative work and in facilitating best democratic practices. 6th, the crucial aspect of development process has been the inadequate attention paid to human resource development in India. Suggest measures that can address this inadequacy. 7th, discuss the role of Competition Commission of India in containing the abuse of dominant position by the multinational corporations in India. Refer to the recent decisions. E-governance as a critical tool of governance has ushered in effectiveness, transparency, and accountability in governance. What inadequacies hamper the enhancement of these features? 9th, virus of conflict is affecting the functioning of SCO. In the light of the above statement, point out the role of India in mitigating the problems. 10th, Indian diaspora has scaled new heights in the West. Describe its economic and political benefits for India. 11th, the Constitution of India is a living instrument with capabilities of enormous dynamism. It is a constitution made for a progressive society. Illustrate with special reference to the expanding horizons of the right to life and personal liberty. 12th, explain the constitutional perspectives of gender justice with the help of relevant constitutional provisions and case laws. 13th, account for the legal and political factors responsible for their reduced frequency of using Article 356 by the Union government since the mid-1990s. 14th, discuss the contribution of civil society groups for women's effective and meaningful participation and representation in the state legislatures in India. 15th, explain the significance of the 101st Constitutional Amendment Act. To what extent does it reflect the accommodative spirit of federalism? 16th, explain the structure of parliamentary committee system. How far have the financial committees helped in the institutionalization of Indian parliament? 17th, development and welfare schemes for the vulnerable by its nature are discriminatory in approach. Do you agree? Give reasons for your answer. 18th, skill development programs have succeeded in increasing human resource supply to various sectors. In the context of the statement, analyze the linkages between education, skill, and employment. 19th, the expansion and strengthening of NATO and a stronger US-Europe strategic partnership works well for India. What is your opinion about this statement? Give reasons and examples to support your answer. 20th, sea is an important component of the cosmos. Discuss in the light of the above statement the role of IMO, International Maritime Organization, in protecting environment and enhancing maritime safety and security.
Thank you, Tiwari ji. Okay, now would anyone like to share their perspective of this paper? What you felt? What was your first look? If there is anyone, please let me know. What was with respect to the nature of paper? with respect to the nature of question. Definitely, I will be sharing those things. Okay, let me share the things. In fact, here, okay, and there was a message. Number one, first thing here, in this paper, there were many things which were like straightforward, direct questions. Direct questions were like high. Number two, other than save or excluding current affairs related things, more than 50% of the questions have been repeated. I repeat, more than 50% of the questions have been repeated in one or the another way. Mean to say that if you have prepared for previous year questions clearly in a very precise manner, then the chances were high that you will be answering more, like nearly more than 50% of the questions. So here direct questions were high, and other than the current affairs, more than 50% of the questions, in fact, nearly 60-70% of the questions are just altered previous year questions. Right. And one important aspect, dear students, the most important challenge with respect to mains is understanding the questions. Understanding the question. I repeat, the most important and the very difficult thing, in fact, in mains is understanding the question, what they are asking. So we have got nearly 50 years of questions, 10 years of UPSC questions. Please read them daily. Understand as to how UPSC asking some things. What is the nature? What is the vocabulary? Let me show you a question like where you will realize. Okay, now this question already your friend has read. Like, please try to get the meaning of this one. What is the core issue of this? What is that like bullseye? If you want to, if you are asked to eat the bullseye like this, what is that which is asked here? Or mean to say, what is the meaning of this course exactly? Meaning of this question exactly? Not exactly separation of powers and its importance, no. Independence of judiciary, no. Judicial activism, no. Checks and balances, they're correct. I'm not saying. I'm asking you the most important, like eating the bull's eye. Constitutional ideals, no. Judicial review, no. Judicial review versus parliamentary superior, so, like, no. Power of the people in the hands of, no. Please look into this question once again. How judiciary upholds democracy? Definitely, these are the things. But I'm asking the most important thing. Judicial importance in the context of democracy. Constitution, justice. Okay. Judicial review. See, dear students, like here, most of you like are like in have failed to like grasp the meaning or the bullseye, the core thing. Here, definitely, you should have an idea of what is democracy, prerequisite of democracy. Definitely. Judicial independence, that is there, definitely. It is well-known fact. Judicial independence is prerequisite for democracy. That is not the bullseye. That is not the main intent of this question. Constitutionally guaranteed judicial importance is a prerequisite for democracy. That is the question which is been asked. Is the point clear to you? See, judicial independence, that is a concept. What the question is asking is constitutionally guaranteed judicial independence. Judiciary may be independent. What if that independence is not given by the constitution? Is the point clear to you? So, like, how many of you agree with what I said? Or how many of you say, no, you are wrong? Like, I suppose, like, I don't have any extra capabilities like an angel. No. Okay. See, this is a pure English. Why I asked this? Once again, I reiterate, please read the previous year questions. They have been repeating, dear students. They have been repeating. See, like 1 year they might have taken from one page, next year they will take from next page. I will show the instances. Okay. Now, let me okay, explain the meaning. I have explained the meaning. Here, the core thing is constitutionally guaranteed judicial importance. So here, Constitution is giving power to legislature, is giving power to executive, is giving power to judiciary. So we are speaking of this one. Why is this important? So now please answer me. Why is the constitutionally guaranteed judicial independence important? Please answer this. Think it over. If you want to take the time 1 or 2 minutes. Definitely. Like here, the core you have to think of. It's not just about judicial importance, judicial independence. Okay, nice. Okay, great. See here, this is the one which we are talking about. Think the concept is if Constitution has given the power, Constitution has given the power, your executive cannot trespass this power, cannot curtail this power. Legislature cannot do anything. Is the point clear to you? So, Constitution is the law of the land. Constitution is the highest law. Highest law. Say, for example, now take the case here. So you have got constable, head constable, sub-inspector, things like that. At the top, you'll be having DGP or the top one. So you are getting permission from himself, this person. Can these people do anything? No. So the Constitution is the highest law of the land. If we get power from that, automatically legislature and executive cannot interfere. Not only that, means to say that no law can violate, means your legislature cannot violate. Then afterwards, no rules can violate. Means your executive cannot violate. This is the crux of this question, right? Okay. So, and one more important thing, other than the current affairs things, more than 50%, in my opinion, nearly 70% of the questions can be answered by NCERT. Directly they have asked. Directly. Say, for example, this question too. Not only that, Constitution is a living document. Can anyone say there is a chapter by the same name in NCERT? Is there anyone who remembers those things? Yes. So, dear students, it's very important. Even last year they have asked like secularism with respect to France. President, election of president in France. There are many things like the France, president of France came here, things are there. But this aspect is already present in your NCERT. Right? Okay. Having said that, let me tell you this. Democracy. Here, in this question, it is saying that constitutionally guaranteed judicial independence. Let us take this as one. Don't break it or anything like that. Constitutionally guaranteed judicial independence is prerequisite for a democracy. Mean to say that if constitutionally guaranteed judicial independence is not there, democracy cannot flourish, cannot be like you cannot think of democracy. So here in your next answers, you can take this a very important point. Like judicial importance is the prerequisite for democracy. Judicial independence, you can have another corollary also, is the prerequisite for federal structure. Federal structure. Right? Now, democracy. What do you understand by democracy? Those of you like who have been attending my class, you should be answering this one. Because I have taken like considerable amount of time. Okay, Trinity, other than that. People, rule of people, okay. Very good, some of you are answering this. When I say India is a democracy, when I say India is a democracy, what is the implication? What is the implication? India is a democracy. Okay, very good. Here, two important implications are there. Please listen to me. When we say that in the preamble, we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign socialist, secular, democratic republic, it is implying to the political system. So, the political system what we have is democratic. Not only that, after that, we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to assure all its people justice, social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief and faith, equality of status and of opportunity, and also fraternity. So what is the implication? Here, Constitution is assuring of democratic society also. Democratic society. democratic polity, democratic society. Is the point clear to you? So mainly, and also it is a principle of decision making. This is an extra one, but these things has to be kept in mind. This is very, very important. So here the term democracy should not be taken only to refer to democratic political system, because only the first part of the preamble is with respect to this. It also refers to democratic social system. So democratic social system, like they may ask me, what is democratic social system? That where you have got justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. You can add even secularism. Is this clear to you? Democracy doesn't mean only the political system. It also means the social system. This is one of the most important thing which is lacking. Until otherwise they specify that to political system, you should take into consideration these things. So what is the take home? What is the corollary? How? You have to explain how judicial independence, constitutionally guaranteed judicial independence is prerequisite for a democratic political system, and also is a prerequisite for a democratic social system. Mean to say, how justice, to ensure justice, how constitutionally guaranteed judicial system is important. Liberty, equality, fraternity, and secularism. Is the point clear to you? Is the demand of the question clear to you? Any doubt if you have, or if you would like to add anything, please let me know. Okay, so this is the most important thing. Let me once again reiterate. I don't want to repeat the things, but since it is very important, let me tell you. So democracy means the government. That is one part. Other than that, democracy also means justice. Democracy also means equality. Democracy also means fraternity. Democracy also means liberty. These are said to be ideals. So one is the political system, second is the ideals, third is the principle or the process, means democratic decision making, where there is consent. Where there is consent of the people. Consent and also consultation. Consultation and consent of the people. Democratic decision. This not only in government, you can have in family, in society, everything. So this is one of the questions where most of the teachers also have gone wrong in interpreting the things. It's not just about judicial importance, it is about constitutionally guaranteed judicial importance. So here you should be like writing what is democracy? Like you should have idea of these things too. Democracy, judicial independence, prerequisite of democracy, then constitutionally guaranteed judicial independence. Constitutionally guaranteed judicial independence is a prerequisite of democracy. So let me just flash the slides as we move through with some of the things which I have already explained. Democracy is both a form of government, an ideal, an aspiration, and a standard. So democracy is an aspiration too. The concept of democracy is evolving. It is not same as what it used to be 100 years back, and definitely it won't be same in next 100 years. Various meanings of democracy: a form of government in which people rule directly, society based on equal opportunity and individual merit rather than hierarchy and privileges, a system of decision making based on principle of majority rule, a system of rule that secures the rights and interests of minorities by backing checks upon the power of the majority, a means of filling public offices through competitive struggle for public vote. So I'll give just 30 seconds. Please go through these things once again. First, no need to take them. All the things will be available to you in the PDF form. Right? Okay. Next, democracy means system of government that serves the interest of people regardless of their participation in political life. Democracy means system of government based on consent of the governed, consent of the governed. So here, democracy can also be conceptualized as a cluster, ideas as I said, autonomy, rights, liberty, equality, or as our Ambedkar has said, liberty, equality, and fraternity. So democracy means these also. Democracy as a political system, democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. So, and also the complete definition of the things, it is having all the dimensions. You have to keep these things also in your mind. And with respect to autonomy, rights, freedom, equality, all these things I have already dealt. Please go through these things. These are very important. The concept of democracy is the most important, the fundamental thing, because everything is based on democracy. Democracy has become a buzzword. Even many monarchic countries, like say Saudi Arabia, they also claim that we are democratic to a greater extent. So all these things will have a greater understanding. Please go through these things. Okay. So comprehensively, democratic form, in its comprehensive form, democracy means or ought to mean a form of government, a type of state, pattern of social system, a design of economic order, a way of life and culture. Democratic decision involves consultation and consent. Principle: a democratic decision involves consultation with and consent of all those affected by the decision. An ideal standard that all democracies must aim to become, it's an aspiration. So reading all these things, you please form the concept of democracy clear. So once again, I reiterate, this is the most accurate. It is the most accurate one because I have not used any other source other than your NCERT and IGNO material. These are present in these two books, which are UPSC books. UPSC is referring these books. These are UPSC books I have taken from this. So this is the most authenticated meaning of democracy, which you should be taking. Democracy as a principle is like decision making also. So here, when we say India is democracy, we not only mean that it is a political institution and process of democracy, but also Indian society and every Indian citizen is democratic. When we say India is democracy, it is not just a political institution and the processes are democratic. It means that Indian society means democratic society reflect the basic democratic values. What are the democratic values? Equality, liberty, fraternity, secularism, justice in the social environment and individual behavior. Very, very important. So here, concentrate on this one. When we say India is democracy, it also means that Indian society and every Indian citizen is democratic. India is democratic means, so you have to bring in judiciary for all these things. So when we say that some society is democratic, some individual citizenry is democratic, what does this mean? Reflecting the basic democratic values, that is equality, liberty, fraternity. So this is with respect to social environment and individual behavior, right? Okay. Now, listen to me. Please answer this question. In India, okay, in Indian Constitution, we have number one, political democracy. Number two, social democracy. So among this, which is true? According to Constitution, in India, there is political democracy. According to Constitution, in India, there is social democracy, means democratic society. So which is true according to Constitution? Okay. Great. I appreciate that many of you are concentrating. Like where? Which part of the Constitution? Which part of the Constitution says that we have got a democratic social system? Which part of the Constitution says this? That we have got a democratic social system? Preamble. Great. So that is the answer. So preamble itself is saying, see here, one important thing which you are overlooking in preamble is speaking of two important things. One is the nature of state, sovereign, social, democratic republic. That is one part. The other part is with respect to all, like justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. That is the second part. Are you able to conceptualize, visualize? First part is with respect to nature of the state. Second part is with respect to the society. With respect to society, nature of society. This is nature of state. This is nature of society. So, very important. Please listen to me. For all the topic related to society, you should relate these things. You can directly say, it is given in the Constitution, has enshrined in the preamble. Constitution intend to do these things, society. So, for example, regionalism. You can say that this is against Constitution. Okay. Regionalism is against Constitution. How? How can we say that regionalism is against Constitution? Yes, very good. So, like Upadhyay has given the one. See here, one of the thing has just go to the preamble. So the fraternity, unity, integrity. So whichever is trying to break these things, whichever is against the nature of society, which is intended in the preamble, then you can directly say that it is against Constitution. Unconstitutional. Communalism is unconstitutional. Regionalism is unconstitutional. For all these things, this is the way you have to interpret the things. Okay. Next, judiciary. So why we need judiciary? In a beautiful way, like Generally, we are not staying in a solitary way. We are living in a society. In any society, disputes are bound to arise between individuals, between groups, and between individuals, groups, and government. Definitely, say for example, in this class, at your home, definitely the disputes are bound to arise, inevitable. So there is a need of one body which is independent. All such disputes must be settled by an independent body in accordance with the principle of rule of law. So two important things, an independent body according to rule of law. This idea of rule of law implies that all individuals are subjected to the same law. Rule of law means all are subjected to the same law. Principal role of judiciary is to protect the rule of law. Please interconnect the things. See, disputes are bound to arise. They need to be settled. So, who will settle these things? These are settled by an independent body. This is settled by an independent body based on rule of law. So now, what is the work of judiciary? Is this protecting the rule of law? See, please connect the things. Independent body works based on rule of law, and judiciary is there for rule of law. Protects the rule of law and ensures the supremacy of law. It safeguards the rights of the individual. Another thing, settles the disputes in accordance with the law, ensures that democracy does not give way to individual or group dictatorship. So please interconnect is very deep idea of the concept. Any society disputes are bound to occur. They needs to be settled by an independent body based on the rule of law. Rule of law means all are subjected to the same law. So here it is the role, it is the duty of the judiciary to uphold, to protect the rule of law. This is the most important thing. Other than this, you have got safeguards the rights of the individual. See here, rule of law. Because of when there is rule of law, then only democracy can emerge. Once again, democratic society, rights of the individuals are protected, settles the dispute in accordance with the law. Right? In order to be able to do all these things, it is necessary that the judiciary is independent of any political pressure. So now the last one gives the importance of independent judiciary. So without independent judiciary, all these things cannot happen. Are you with me? Please draw some meaningful conclusion. This is a very important one. See here, one thing, very important. Please listen to me. 1 minute. So like you may be reading, you may feel that something is very good, but until and unless you process the things and write in your words, the concept won't come to you. Whatever may be, say for example, I will be using slides. Even if I use the slides 10 times, I won't be able to connect the things. मेरा दिमाग में वो connectivity नहीं आएगा. When I try to write these things in my hand, in a notebook with some flow, then only the conceptual clarity will come. This is possible only when you make a very, very short notes, however small it may be. Say you watched a YouTube video. Try to write one line with respect to the things which you have seen. Say, for example, all are beyond motivation. So for motivation, you will be seeing many things. You felt something good. Try to reproduce this in 1 line or 2 line. This is the most important thing. As I told you, there are 2 hands of UPSC preparation. One hand is input, another hand is output. Input is reading, output is writing or your expression. This has to start. I repeat, you are almost always in input mode. Pado, Laxmikanth ko karo, wo karo. But you are not doing the other one, not coming to output mode at all. कब तक input mode में रहते हो आप? Come to the output mode. Try to express, try to write. This is not easy. So what is the way out? Make a short notes. Dear students, what I am providing, this PPT is itself a notes. Don't write everything which is there. If you want, I will give the PPTs also. You can download. What you should be writing is a small synopsis, interconnecting the things. If this is not happening, mains is a very, very distinct dream for you. Many toppers like Tina Dabia, even Shruti, all who got first rank, they just passed. Many of the toppers, they would have not cleared the prelims if they were allowed in general merit. But they got single digit. Why I said is, until and unless you come for output mode, expressing yourself, mains will be very difficult. Okay. Now, so meaning of independent judiciary. So here independent judiciary, majorly 2 things. It is about courts and judges. So they should act independently. In simplest form, independent judiciary means there should not be no restraint in functioning of the judiciary. Independence of judiciary means other organs of the government like executive and legislature must not restrain the functioning of judiciary in such a way that it is unable to do justice. Should not restrain. Other organs of the government should not interfere also. Judges must be able to perform their function without fear or favor. So this is not asked in your question. This is not asked this time. How independent? They are not asking. The question was not how independence of judiciary is maintained. That was not the question. Okay. Independence of judiciary, very important, does not imply arbitrariness or absence of accountability, the most important thing. Judiciary should be based on rule of law. There is no scope for arbitrariness. These are the words which you have to keep in mind. Independence, maybe parliament independence, executive independence, or even in our individual lives. Independence doesn't mean arbitrariness. Independence doesn't mean that you can do whatever you want. Independence doesn't mean that you're not accountable. You are accountable to the society, you are accountable to family, you are accountable to the nation. So similarly, this concept, elaborating the same thing for others also, it implies the absence of arbitrariness, and also it implies accountability. Judiciary is part of the democratic political structure of the country. It is therefore accountable to the constitution, to the democratic tradition, and to the people of the country. Very, very important. So accountability, judiciary, किसको accountable रहना है? Very important. You won't find this anywhere. Judiciary should be accountable for constitution. Judiciary should be accountable for democracy. Democratic tradition should be accountable for people. Should not be arbitrary. It should be based on law. So very important. At the same time, there should be what is known as checks and balances. Separation of powers leads to checks and balances. If there is no separation of powers, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So if you give all the powers to the judiciary, definitely corruption will happen. So it doesn't mean that you should make judiciary a super legislature or super executive, a very, very important one. Alladi Krishna Swami Iyengar, just 3 days before the enactment of the constitution, he said this in the Constitution Assembly. While there is no true opinion on the need of maintenance of judicial independence, it is also necessary to keep in view one important principle. The doctrine of independence is not to be raised to the level of a dogma so as to enable the judiciary to function as a kind of super legislature or super executive. Judiciary is there to interpret the constitution or adjudicate upon the rights. Right? So constitutional guarantee. Okay, sorry. Constitution guaranteed judicial importance. See, this is the bullseye. So, like इतना देर तक मैं जो कुछ भी बोला, like awabazi, I don't know the exact meaning. These are like peripheral things. But what you should be writing is this, right? So please concentrate. Those of you like who might have, we have, okay, there was some messages. So this is the one which you should be writing. Constitutionally guaranteed judicial importance and prerequisite for democracy. So if this is not there, constitutionally guaranteed judicial importance, democracy cannot survive, cannot flourish itself. Constitution represents the highest law. Constitution represents the highest law of the land. So constitutional recognition of judicial importance gives it a primary importance. So when, say for example now, Constitution as recognized, highest law of the land, has recognized some rights, fundamental rights. It has recognized this. By this, Constitution is giving primary importance to fundamental rights. Is the point clear to you? By recognizing fundamental rights, Constitution is giving primary importance to fundamental rights. Means all other things should be after this, or nothing can violate this. Similarly here, when Constitution, the highest law of the land, recognizes the judicial independence, that means that it is giving primary importance. And all other laws and policies are supposed to respect the judicial independence granted in the Constitution. So, are you able to connect? Once there is constitutionally guaranteed judicial independence, all other laws, policies, powers, everything, there is nothing they can do. They just have to follow this, just have to respect the judicial independence. Means, I say for example, in many religions, they say that this is said by God. So God said this, means no one can question. So you take any literature, any book, any holy book, there are many mistakes. Even in some holy book, there are some spelling mistake also. So how can God speak spelling mistakes? How can God make spelling mistakes? But once the God has said, it is final. That is not the mistake. Constitution is the God. If you have to accept, right? Rights mentioned in the Constitution would be those which are considered to be of basic importance. So here, the rights which are given to the judiciary will be those which are considered to be of basic importance. Constitutionally guaranteed judicial importance is the most legitimate and unambiguous power. So why is constitutionally guaranteed judicial importance required? Because it is the most legitimate and unambiguous power. Okay. Then with constitutional guaranteed judicial importance, independence, tensions. So with constitutionally guaranteed judicial importance, tensions that rose from time to time between judiciary, the executive and legislature will be resolved. So democratic political system, prestige of judiciary will be very high. When it is guaranteed by constitution, prestige of judiciary will be very high. Otherwise, judiciary won't be having that power. Say, for example, now, judiciary has got independence. So judicial independence is there, but this is given by executive. Think that this is given by executive. Will it be permanent? Will it be of highest order? No. Ordinary citizens will have very high expectations from judiciary and it will be fulfilled to a greater extent. Now, OIC always speaks, will follow the Supreme Court. Why? Because there is a constitutionally provided judicial independence in India. If there was no constitutionally guaranteed judicial independence, ordinary citizens would have not expected anything, or they were not having any expectations at all to begin with. Judiciary will be able to give new interpretations, new interpretations to the constitution and protect the rights of the nation to meet the needs of the time. It is not like our holy books written some 3,000 years back, 4,000 years back, still following the same thing. No. Since the constitution has given the independence, it will be seeing that the needs of the time are met. Constitution becomes a living document. Constitution, does Constitution speaks? Yes, Constitution does speak, but it speaks through judiciary. Constitution does speak. Constitution has a voice, but that voice is heard only through judiciary. Democracy hinges, means supported, on the delicate balance of power between the judiciary and the parliament. And both institutions have to function within the limitations set by the constitution. I repeat, democracy hinges on the delicate balance of power between the judiciary and the parliament, and both the institutions have to function within the limitations of the constitution. Okay. So here you have to connect the things which we have discussed to bring about the political system, how it brings about the thing, and also the society and citizen. Okay. Now relax for some time. Try to recall what I have told. Try to interconnect the things. Right? Okay. Now just another few additions to the point. So now here, very important. Please listen to me. Very, very important one. the most important thing. Often you ask how to write answers, answer writing. Dear students, this is the most important thing. Please listen to me. Go to UPSC Mains syllabus. Mains syllabus. Go to the preamble of the main syllabus. I repeat, go to the preamble of the UPSC main syllabus, general studies. In that, it says that three important things: conceptual clarity and in-depth understanding, analysis. Third, taking a view, taking a viewpoint, taking a stand or way out. These are the three things which your syllabus says are looking. And this is what is expected in your answers. So in the introduction, you have to show how well you have understood the concept, how well you are able to interrelate. See, all these things you have to finish like within 150 words. जो मैं कहानी बोला वो सब नहीं, just for this, it will take already 70 to 80 words or 50, 60 words. So with respect to introduction, you should have the in-depth understanding, interlinking of all these things, concise way. The main body is the analysis of the questions, what they have asked. Exactly. Hitting the bullseye. Exactly. The conclusion is not concluding what you have written. That is the wrong way. You have to take a viewpoint, stand. What is the way out? Your suggestions. Is it clear to you? So in introduction, your understanding of the question, understanding of the question, what is the meaning of the question? What is the intent of the question? In the body, in the main thing, you have to analyze the question, the main thing which is being asked. The conclusion is not concluding what you have written. It is the way out. It is the way, like viewpoint that you should be taking. So here in the introduction, you should be relating democracy, judicial independence, how it is prerequisite for democracy. This should be in introduction. This you have to complete into 3 lines, maximum 4 lines. So 20 to 30 words. After that, why constitutionally guaranteed judicial independence is required. Then you have to take the last one, that is with respect to concluding the things. Constitutionally guaranteed judicial independence is a prerequisite for democracy, and it should be sufficient. Means you should have sufficient independence, and there should be unambiguous independence. Say, for example, now there is a fight between legislature and the judiciary. Somehow of late, there was a big fight, you just cannot imagine. Legislature was saying that it can do whatever it wants under Article 368. Judiciary says, no, no, no. Article 368 comes under Article 13 itself. So you cannot do whatever you want. There was ambiguity, in fact. Say, for example, Article 21, it gives for procedure established by law. But of late, Supreme Court is saying that, no, we have got due process of law. There is ambiguity once again. At the same time, it should not lead to supreme legislature or super executive. Right? So, like, how many of you are able to conceptualize the things? Now, okay. Now, this is the test. Take it seriously. I'll give 5 minutes. So, I'll give 5 minutes. Take this as an examination condition. Write your answers. There is no need to show anyone. like how you are able to make the things. And also, I want you to write better than what I told. So take 5 minutes and just take this question. Just take this question, write 5 minutes. So I'll give you 5 minutes. You have to write the answer, whatever you want. So still many are seeing the questions, means they have not read the questions all this time. So reverse, time has started. It's 21 now. So nobody should play chess game. You just have to write. You don't have the luxury of thinking as though you are thinking something. No, write whatever comes in your mind, because there is no luxury of thinking. Whatever comes, you have to be writing. Please write. You will lose this opportunity if you are not writing. I don't know what about these people behind the screen. I don't know what they are doing. I suppose like nearly 20% are sleeping and watching. Why I was interrupting your writing is, generally it will be like this same environment. Examiner will be disturbing you while you are writing. Okay, try to conclude in another like 1 minute, 30 seconds. Last 1 minute, 30 seconds. Okay, all of you stop. So stop wherever you have put. You have got lot of time afterwards. You can write after the class. So now I have made like 55 minutes exactly. After the class, you try like in 5 minutes, I have what I have written, like what I would have written. So very important. Please listen to me. Please, number one, try to write all the questions on your own. Please make this a point. In exam, they will be giving 7 minutes. Take 15 minutes. Take 20 minutes. However, like nonsense it may be, try to write. Please write this. Number two, like after in 4 or 5 days, all the institutions will be giving a PDF form answers. Try to compare those things and have points. Say, I repeat, for 150 marks, you should be writing only like 70 words in your notes, because these are the points which can expand afterwards. Third most important thing, why I'm stressing time and again, nearly 70% of the question can be answered by previous year questions. I repeat, 70%. This time too, say for example, speaker, they have asked for state legislature. Previously, they have asked for Lok Sabha. Parliamentary committees, they have asked. Once again, they have asked this time. See, now here, with respect to this, like independence of judiciary, we have discussed. The same you can write. It will be easy for you to write if they ask with respect to independence of legislature, independence of executive, independence of any constitutional body. And in fact, this is a direct question if you have prepared last time. Constitutional status to Women Commission. There is a demand for constitutionalizing the Women Commission. They have asked this question. Why? What makes this important if it is given constitutional position? The same question they have asked last time. Constitutional status to backward class BC Commission. See here, constitutional status to backward class commission. So how it is helpful? Now there is a demand to give constitutional status to Women Commission. Why? Similarly, now they are asking constitutionality to judicial independence. Mean to say, if you would have prepared for this, this question would have been a cakewalk. In examination, you just cannot think, you just won't like produce the ideas. Whatever you have already thought, you will be just writing those things. Right? So these are the things, like in addition, importance of constitutionally guaranteed judicial importance in democracy. These are the things. Constitutionally guaranteed judicial importance is the cornerstone of healthy democracy. It safeguards individual rights, maintains rule of law, ensures accountability, promotes overall well-being and stability of the democratic system. Without judicial independence, democracy may be vulnerable to authoritarianism, corruption, erosion of essential democratic principles. So please go through these things, how this maintains checks and balances, rule of law, protecting the individual rights. See, this is the one. When these individual rights are protected, that is leading to democratic society. You have to answer both democratic political system and also democratic society. Then accountability, confidence in the legal system will be there. Fairness and impartiality, protection against the authoritarianism. Legal certainty will be there, long-term sustainability of the democracy. So one of the other ways, like to answer any question is, if no constitutional guarantee, what will happen to judicial independence? So there is judicial independence. If it is not constitutionally guaranteed, what will happen if there is no constitutionally guaranteed judicial independence? Dire consequences of the functioning of the democratic institution and the protection of individual rights and the overall stability and the prosperity of the nation. It can lead to erosion of democratic values, all your liberty, equality, fraternities, breakdown of the rule of law, ultimately threatening the foundation of the democratic system itself. So here, erosion of democracy, abuse of power, political manipulation of the legal system itself, rule of law won't be there, lack of accountability, injustice and unfairness, suppression of dissent, economic instability, social unrest, loss of international standing. So weakening of the rule of law, all these things we have to write. So these are the things which you should be writing. So Parliament will curtail. I saw one message. Parliament will curtail the power. No, when Constitution has given, even Parliament cannot curtail in normal circumstances. Only in an exception case, means amendment to the Constitution has to be made. See, just the importance, let me tell you. Right to education. So, right to education, right to livelihood. These were elevated to the status of law. Law. RTI, Right to Education Act. MGNREGA Act means here executive cannot do anything. Similarly, what you can say is next step, let the right to education be put in Constitution itself. Then what does that mean? That means that even the legislature cannot do anything when it is put in Constitution. When it is put in Constitution, even your judiciary cannot do anything in normal circumstances. Right? Okay. So this was asked in prelims also in 2017. Who are entitled to receive free legal aid? Assess the role of National Legal Service Authority in rendering free legal aid in India. So as I told you, say for example, international organization. You should be directly going to the international organization website itself. Afterwards, you can go to any way, any like UPSC website or anything. But first have a glance as to how the things are presented. See, this website is very friendly. Not only this website, all websites will be very friendly, especially those which are representing national and international importance. These websites are for ordinary people, ordinary citizens, general citizens. It will be simple, crisp, most authentic, and in fact, questions will be coming from this. So this is a like direct question. National Legal Service Authority in rendering free legal aid. So here, dear students, if you have not read also, don't worry. You just can try answering this. Is my point clear to you? Who are entitled to receive free legal aid? Please guess this one. Just guess. This is how the toppers get the rank. Nobody will be knowing the things. So, who are entitled to receive free legal aid? Just try. Poor people, very good. Downtrodden, then BPL, vulnerable sections of the society, great. Then disabilities, okay. Then SC, ST, right? Then who will be getting economically weaker section? Old people, yes. Below poverty line, OBC, yes. Dear students, once again I reiterate, this is the way you have to be. See, this happened with one of my friend. There was a scheme asked to him in interview. He had two options. One is, sir, I don't know. Second is, I don't know exactly. Can I try? Can I try to answer? This is the one they are looking into. This is in interview. See, already their knowledge, everything is already tested. Now what they are looking is leadership qualities, how he approaches the things, clarity of the things. See, he had made the point clear. I don't know exactly, but I can guess, or I will try to guess. In fact, this person got good marks. Similar question asked to one of my friend who said, I don't know for most of the question, who did not try to answer. He got less marks. So here, okay. So this I have taken from the website itself. It's very, very important, crisp. Towards fulfilling the preambular, see, you got a word also, vocabulary. Fulfilling the preambular promise of securing to all the citizens justice, social, economic, political. Article 39A of the Constitution of India provides for the free legal aid to the poor and weaker sections of society to promote justice on the basis of equal opportunity. See, very, very powerful line. They have connected, I told you, most of the students to connect each and everything present in the preamble to all the articles. See here, that is done by the website itself. So Constitution is for justice, social, economical, political. In that line, you have got a directive principle which direct the state to provide free legal aid to the poor and weaker section. So that is fulfilled by your NALSA. Also, Article 14 and 22(1) of the Constitution also makes obligatory for the state to ensure equality before law, a very, very powerful one. So, justice on the basis of equal opportunity. Article 39A. I repeat, Article 39A, the cream is justice on the basis of equal opportunity. And Article 14 and 21 makes obligatory for the state to ensure equality before law. Right? This is the background. So 1 minute. Okay. There was some problem in sharing. Okay. Can you see the PPT now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the crux, the most important thing. Please internalize after the class. And once again, very important, I reiterate, I want to inculcate one important thing in this session. Please come to output mode. Input mode say up output mode. This is the next level. Please come to this. You read something. After you read, just try to recall and reproduce. Try to reproduce whatever comes to your mind. Say, for example, you have read this para. Try to reproduce output. You may not be getting many things. It's okay. It's okay. And don't bother even to look it again. Just try to develop this output mode. Say, for example, you are seeing something, YouTube channel, something, some joke or anything. Say, for example, you are like watching a movie. After you finished movie, just take 2 minutes and try to conceptualize what was there. There are some movies like which will take you, like you might have watched like 20 times, 30 times. Just try to have a output mode, like why you are watching that 20 times, though you already know each and every line, even jokes. What makes you feel good? This is how output mode should be, not just reading. Okay. Legal Service Authority Act was enacted by the Parliament, which came into force in 1995 to establish national-wide uniform network for providing free and competent legal service to the weaker sections of the society. This is the most important thing. So for weaker sections of society, you are providing the legal services, competent legal services, right? This may be asked in your prelims. Chief Justice of India is the patron in chief of NALSA and senior most Honorable Judge of Supreme Court is the executive chairman of the authority. So this may be asked in your prelims. Chief Justice is the chief, and other than Chief Justice, the senior most judge in Supreme Court is the executive chairman of the authority. So other than this, here the crux, public awareness, equal opportunity, and deliverable justice are the cornerstones on which the edifice of NALSA is based. So there is a organization of Lok Adalat are nothing but people's court. So these things also have to be taken care, because these are the things which are there in the website itself. The vision, the mission, all these things. The service provided are legal aid, Lok Adalat, mediation, legal awareness, literacy, victim compensation, social litigation, social action litigation. So all these things are the services provided by NALSA. Then eligibility for entitling free aid. So these are the people. See, you have already answered. Most of the people are already answered. See here, don't worry. If you are not writing this, don't worry. आपको 50% लेके फर्स्ट रैंक लेना है, उतना ही है. Don't try for 100. This is one of the mistake I always used to do. Thinking of getting the highest marks, I completed all 15 ARC reports then itself, but I forgot to make very, very short notes of the very, very important things. I just read all the ARC reports. I was not able to reproduce these things. Next year, I did the same thing. Already I have read 15 ARC report. Let me read this again. Those things are of no use if you are not making a very short notes. So most of you have answered all this. Then role of NALSA for gender justice, seniors for senior citizens, and also under trials. It also organizes Lok Adalat, People's Courts, Disha, E-Lok Adalat, Legislative Services, mobile app, legal aid clinic, legal awareness, challenges faced by NALSA. So importantly, the awareness. The most important thing is low awareness. Say, how many of you know here about NALSA, how it works? How many of you have come across people who have taken help during using this? See, very few, very few. So awareness is the most important thing. So lack of acceptance of alternate dispute resolution. So What is this alternate dispute resolution? Dispute resolution is done by court system. Any other way of resolving the dispute is said to be alternate dispute resolution. This may be counseling, this may be arbitration, things like that. Low awareness, inadequate powers for low adalats, underutilization of paralegal volunteers. Assess the role of NALSA. So here there is still challenges, including limited resources, need to further improve awareness, and about free legal aid services. So constitutional with respect to analysis, have made the thing constitutional mandate accessing access to justice, legal service authority, awareness and education, legal aid clinics, assistance at pre-litigation and litigation stage, financial support, specialized services are also provided, monitoring and evaluation, public interest litigation is also taken into consideration. International cooperation, NALSA collaborates with international organization and legal aid agencies to enhance its capacity and share best practices in the field of legal aid. So this is the complete assessment, right? So this is a fairly straightforward question. You shouldn't be having any problem with respect to the second question. Right. Now, states in India are reluctant to empower the local bodies functionally and also financially. This question has been repeated directly. We have discussed some of the areas. Once again, I repeat, with respect to local self-governing bodies, questions are repeated. They are mostly repeated with respect to problems and what is the way out or the solutions. These are the only two dimensions which have been asked. We have got a report on the local government, sixth report of second ARC. It's very beautiful. And most of the questions with respect to local government are from this one. I repeat, there is a complete report on local government by second ARC, sixth report. Most like 90% of the questions asked till date can be directly answered. And in many cases, they are directly picked line by line from this report. Here, as I said, it is very difficult. Don't make the mistake I did going through this. And there are chances that you may get a question or you may not get. Even if you get a question, if you don't make short notes and read them, you won't be writing. There's no need to read these things, but if possible, make a group where one will be summarizing sixth report, another can summarize some other, another can summarize some. By that, the whole 200, 300 pages can be summarized in 2 to 3 pages. So this is the way how the toppers are working. They are working in group. You also should be working in group. Okay. So now let me just see the time. Okay. Still we have got time. Now, I'll explain this in detail. Sixth report of second ARC. Okay. Okay, I'll explain this. This is not pretty conceptual. So I have made a detailed thing with respect to these things. It's not a difficult one. Okay. Now, this is the question which you should be answering. Okay. So now, compare and contrast British and Indian approaches to parliamentary sovereignty. First question. Okay, I got an answer here. Okay, That was Administrative Reform Commission. Please do answer. In India, do we have parliamentary sovereignty? Okay, very good. No, we don't have parliamentary sovereignty. Good, very nice. Very nice, correct. We don't have parliamentary sovereignty. We don't have. Next point is why? Why we don't have? Why we don't have parliamentary sovereignty? Let's answer this. Very important. Okay. Please take 1 minute. Please answer this. Okay, great. So now listen to me. So here, parliament refers to union legislation. So parliament refers to union legislation. The corresponding thing will be state assembly. So here there is division of power from with respect to union and center. First reason will be federal system. Federal system. Second will be separation of powers. Separation of powers. Third will be written constitution. Written constitution. And fourth will be, most importantly, it is your judicial review. Judicial review. Judicial review. Fifth will be the fundamental rights. Is the point clear to you? This is the crux. So I reiterate the things here. So in India, we don't have parliamentary sovereignty. The reason is, we are having a federal structure. One. So power is divided there. Then we have got separation of powers. So here separation of powers, checks and balances. So all are equal here. All are equal. We have got a written constitution which demarcates these things in a specific way. We have got judicial review. We have got fundamental rights. Along with that, you can write also amending power. Amending power of the parliament is limited. Amending power of the parliament is limited. In line with that, you can also write basic structure, which has been evolved. So this also limits the parliamentary sovereignty. This is as simple as this. Now, when we come to Britain, here there is no federal structure. Though there is separation of powers, but they are not equal. In Britain, there is separation of powers, but they are not equal. There is no written constitution in Britain. There is no judicial review in reality. There is no judicial review in reality. Judicial review, even if it is there, judicial review is for procedure established by law, not due process of law. Means judiciary cannot question the law. Judiciary can question the executive only. There is no fundamental rights as we have described in our constitution. With respect to amendment of the constitution or things like that, they are same as the general legislation. There is nothing like basic structure in Britain. For these are some of the things with respect to the parliamentary sovereignty of Britain and India. So, like, we'll take up the rest of the questions in a very brief and faster way. So, like, what I expect is, this is the one important thing what I expect. Please go home. If you are serious about this UPSC preparation, like we have dealt 2 questions in detail. I'll be providing PDF. Uska kaam ho gaya, like try to write the things. After that, for all the questions, try to take 15 minutes or 20 minutes. What I request you is just to write the meaning or anything like that in 50 words or some 5 to 10 points. 10 points. After finishing that, if you have got time, prepare a answer on your own. Answer. Use any source. And that answer should be better than the answer which I will be telling. Is the point clear? So tomorrow we'll take up the remaining questions, but it will be useful only when you do this. Try it on your own to write some 50 words, some points. Try. It won't take much of your time because you won't get this opportunity. As I told you, if you are like confident of writing next year mains, it is 100% true that nearly 80% of the questions are repeated in one or the another way. If you have prepared for this, definitely anything related to sovereignty, they may ask next, like judicial sovereignty. You can answer those things also, right? And another important thing, I have sorted all the things subtopic wise, subtopic wise, in fact, of all previous year questions, mains of GS2. I have already provided. Please go through that. Right? Okay. So, any doubt with respect to these things? So here, dear students, it is not easy. I will tell you one important thing here. Just go to YouTube. Just go to YouTube before you see what they are telling, like for the top faculties. Just you analyze the question and you see what they are selling. Almost they won't be telling anything other than what you know. Mean to say, these are not that easy. Right? Okay. Hoping that you will go through the previous year questions and also the things which I have discussed. So let me conclude the session. In fact, it was a very challenging task for me. Generally, what I do is I try my best to provide student all the things, including motivation, to approach the exam. So once the exam is over, generally I won't look into these things. I'll take some break. But I was asked to take these questions of late, so I have tried on my own. If you are capable, if you can come up with good answer than this, definitely you have got greater chances of success. See, I having written 7-8 mains, having attended 3-4 interviews, if this is the scale, this is the way of understanding, this is the way of analyzing the things, if you can do better, or if you can do like more than 50%, your chances of getting service are very high. Having said that, I'll thank once again everyone. Have a great day. Enjoy your preparation. I want all of you to have first rank. In my opinion, first rank means your dream job. Enjoy your preparation. Success will be yours. Until we meet tomorrow, please analyze GS2 once for all. We'll finish tomorrow. Right? Have a great day. Enjoy.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.